Welcome back to FlyEaglesFly News, where we break down everything happening with the Philadelphia Eagles and give you the most detailed take on the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Today, we're taking a closer look at the aftermath of the recent games and what it means for the team, the players, and how things are shaping up as the season progresses. We've had a couple of days to digest the games, and while it's been tough to swallow some of the results, there are a few things that actually give us hope. First up, let's talk about Jake Elliott because, honestly, we can't just skip over the struggles we've seen from him lately. Now, Elliott has had some incredible moments in his career, especially when the stakes were at their highest. And that includes last year's playoff run where he came through when it mattered most. But if we're being honest, the last couple of seasons have been rough for him. The numbers don't lie, and it's clear that something needs to change. A big part of the problem might not even be Elliott himself, but the long snapper he's been working with. There's a lot of detail in that position that gets overlooked until mistakes start costing the team. If you go back and look at some of the snaps from the previous seasons with a different long snapper, the difference is noticeable. That rhythm, that trust between kicker and snapper, it matters more than people realize. So, while we're pointing fingers at Elliott, part of this has to do with the consistency and reliability of the snapper. That being said, the misses this season are starting to have real consequences. Last year, those misses didn't matter as much because we were winning games and ultimately captured the Super Bowl. But this year, every field goal counts, and Elliott has to find a way to consistently deliver. The question now is whether the Eagles bring in some competition or continue to rely on him. While hoping the long snapper issue gets resolved, it's a tricky situation, and the loyalty the team shows to Elliott is admirable, but in football, performance has to come first, especially when every game feels like a test. Moving on from Elliott, accountability has been a major talking point, and it's not just about one player. Cam Jurgens recently shared some insights that gave us a peek into what's really happening behind the scenes. There's often talk about how practices are clean and how the team has been executing the new plays and wrinkles the coaching staff has added, and on paper, that sounds great, but the reality, according to Jurgens, is that the team isn't as clean as everyone might think. Penalties, miscommunications, and lapses in execution are still happening, and they're affecting how the game plays out. The way he addressed it was refreshing because it showed that he's aware of the issues and willing to call them out instead of just glossing over them. He emphasized that accountability starts in practice, with attention to detail and consistent effort day in and day out. And that's what leads to better performance on game day. It's a perspective that sometimes gets lost in the media hype or fan discussions, but it's a vital part of what keeps a team competitive over the long haul. At the same time, we saw some real positives on the player front, particularly from A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Both of these guys have shown a level of accountability and self-reflection that's crucial for a team going through a rough stretch. A.J. Brown has been honest about his own contributions, acknowledging both the plays he made that kept the team in the game and the mistakes that ultimately cost them. There's a mental toughness in owning both sides of that coin. Hurts, similarly, has been candid about his own errors and the need to stay focused, to communicate effectively, and to lead the team by example. When you watch them talk, you get the sense that these are players who are invested in the team, in each other, and in finding solutions, rather than just pointing fingers or blaming outside circumstances. This is the kind of leadership that can actually hold a locker room together during tough times. Even when fans are frustrated or the season isn't going the way everyone hoped, it's fascinating to see how these dynamics play out. While early in the season the team was winning and fans were ecstatic, there were moments when players seemed visibly frustrated or disconnected, and that created tension. Now, even in the middle of a 3-game losing streak, the vibe on the field and the sideline tells a different story. You can see Hurts and Brown supporting each other, Saquon Barkley staying engaged and positive, and the overall energy starting to stabilize. It's a reminder that sometimes the internal dynamics of a team aren't immediately reflected in the win-loss column. Confidence, trust, and cohesion are built gradually, and watching this group work through their issues and still maintain focus and support for one another is encouraging. It shows that the foundation for future success is still there, even when the results aren't perfect. Another major factor in the Eagles' performance this season has been the health and availability of Lane Johnson. His presence on the field as a right tackle is far more than just a single position. It impacts the entire offensive structure and overall team performance. We've seen firsthand how much difference it makes when he's healthy versus when he's out. The offensive line's effectiveness is directly tied to his play, and when he's missing, other parts of the team are forced to compensate in ways that can't fully replicate his skill and experience. There's been some optimism about him returning very soon, potentially against the Raiders, and that could mark a significant turning point. Having Johnson back means not only stabilizing the line but also boosting the confidence of the entire offense. Even with capable backups like Fred Johnson, the impact of a player like Lane can't be fully duplicated. This is one of those cases where one individual's presence or absence dramatically affects the team's performance, and it highlights the need for strategic planning to ensure the team can maintain high standards, even if a key player is sidelined in the future. In addition to the tactical and positional considerations, the mental and emotional aspects of the game are critical. The way A.J. Brown, Hurts, and Barkley are handling pressure, setbacks, and accountability sets a tone for the rest of the team. Their willingness to be honest about mistakes, to reflect on what needs improvement, and to commit to daily work and preparation speaks volumes about the culture developing in the locker room. It also provides a sense of perspective for fans, showing that while losses are disappointing, there's effort and growth happening behind the scenes. When players maintain focus, work together, and uphold standards even in challenging stretches, it lays the groundwork for resilience and eventual success. Finally, when we look at the broader picture, it's clear that the Eagles are navigating a complex set of challenges. From special team struggles with Elliott and the long snapper to offensive consistency and the need for accountability, there are multiple layers to address. Yet, the glimpses of leadership, cohesion, and emerging chemistry suggest that the team is moving in a positive direction. Even if the scoreboard doesn't always reflect it, the blend of talent, experience, and accountability offers hope that as adjustments are made, mistakes are corrected, and key players like Lane Johnson return to the field, the Eagles will be in a stronger position to compete at the highest level and turn the season around. Now, picking up where we left off, another interesting angle to consider is how this team handles pressure and expectations, especially with fans and media watching every move. Philadelphia Eagles fans are some of the most passionate in the league, and their emotions swing wildly depending on wins, losses, or even single plays. That intensity can be motivating, but it can also add an extra layer of stress for players. What's fascinating this season is seeing how the core leaders Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley are responding to that pressure. Instead of letting frustration take over, they're using it to sharpen focus and maintain a sense of accountability that often gets overlooked. You can see it in the way they break down film, communicate in the huddle, and support each other when mistakes happen, even when the scoreboard isn't in their favor. The commitment to improvement is evident. This is one of the subtle signs that the locker room culture is evolving in a positive direction, and over time, that internal cohesion can translate to more consistent performances on the field. It's also worth diving into the offensive adjustments we've seen recently. The coaching staff has introduced some new wrinkles, creative plays, and tweaks designed to get the most out of the roster. On paper, these moves seem like small changes, but they can have a huge impact in tight games. For example, adjustments that create more space for Barkley or open lanes for quick passes to A.J. Brown can shift momentum in a game that might otherwise slip away. The challenge has been execution. Sometimes the players don't hit the timing perfectly, or there are missed assignments that derail a drive. But when it works, it's clear this offense has explosive potential. It's a balancing act between scheme innovation and flawless execution. And while we've seen flashes of brilliance, consistency is the next frontier. Another topic that has to be addressed is the special teams situation. Jake Elliott's struggles have been a focal point, but this isn't just on him. The entire unit, from long snapper to holder, needs to operate at a high level to prevent missed opportunities that can sway the outcome of close contests. Football is a game of inches, and missed field goals or mishandled snaps often define whether a team wins or loses. The Eagles have recognized this and are reportedly looking into solutions, whether through refining the current lineup or adding competition to raise performance standards. The goal is clear: eliminate errors in situations that are otherwise manageable. For a team with Super Bowl aspiration, that level of precision is non-negotiable, and it's encouraging to see that these issues are being addressed rather than ignored. Turning to the mental side of the game again, The way A.J. Brown has processed recent struggles is particularly instructive. He's shown the ability to take responsibility for dropped passes or missed opportunities, while also highlighting the collective effort that goes into winning. That mindset isn't just about humility, it's about fostering trust among teammates. When every player knows that someone like A.J. Brown is willing to own up to mistakes, it encourages others to do the same, which strengthens communication and collaboration across the roster. Hurts mirrors this mentality, emphasizing the importance of focusing on controllable factors like preparation, technique, and teamwork, rather than dwelling on mistakes. These attitudes combined set the tone for the entire squad, creating an environment where improvement is prioritized over ego, which is essential during challenging stretches of the season. Lane Johnson's impending return adds another layer to the conversation. The Eagles' offensive line has struggled in his absence, and his presence at right tackle is crucial for both protection and run blocking. Johnson's role isn't glamorous in the sense of flashy statistics, but it's foundational. His ability to anchor the line affects everything from the quarterback's timing to Barkley's effectiveness in the run game. The backup players have done their best, but there's a noticeable difference in cohesion and consistency when Johnson is on the field. His return is expected to stabilize the line and give the offense a renewed sense of confidence. Beyond the physical impact, having a veteran leader like Johnson back provides guidance to younger linemen and helps maintain a standard of performance that the team can build around. It's interesting to note the contrast between fan perception and player perception during this rough patch. While some fans are calling for changes, questioning play calling, or even suggesting benching starters, the players themselves seem to be growing closer, reinforcing the idea that chemistry isn't always visible from the outside. Sideline interactions, supportive gestures, and mutual encouragement between Hurts, Brown, and Barkley indicate that internal trust is increasing. Sometimes a team needs adversity to pull together, and in this case, the challenges may be serving as a catalyst for deeper cohesion. Watching these leaders set examples through accountability and consistent effort offers reassurance that the team has the character needed to rebound. Looking at the bigger picture, it's clear the Eagles are balancing multiple priorities, addressing weaknesses in execution, maintaining morale, integrating returning veterans, and adjusting strategies on offense and special teams. Each of these factors plays a critical role in shaping the outcomes of upcoming games. The positive takeaway is that there are tangible steps being taken to improve. Practices are focused, players are holding themselves accountable, and coaches are implementing creative solutions to maximize strengths. This combination of strategic adjustment, leadership, and determination provides a framework for growth that could pay dividends as the season progresses. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. Philadelphia is humming with a familiar kind of electricity, one that doesn't come from game day lights or pre-snap jitters, but from whispers echoing throughout the city. The latest rumor circling the Eagles facility suggests that a reunion with cornerback Darius Slay may be closer than anyone expected. Nothing official has surfaced, yet the quiet movements behind closed doors have grown loud enough for the fanbase to lean in. Slay's name has reportedly resurfaced in internal discussions, sparking speculation about a potential homecoming that would re-energize a secondary searching for stability and leadership. Those close to the situation hint that conversations have already taken place, described not as formal negotiations, but as exploratory signals, gentle taps on the door, testing whether both sides are ready to revisit a partnership that had once shaped the heart of the defense. Within the locker room, players are said to be reacting with cautious excitement. Slay's voice, presence, and knack for reading offenses had been a defining trait of the unit, and the thought of reintroducing that experience is stirring optimism. Coaches, meanwhile, are rumored to be evaluating how his return could reshape the current scheme, particularly in a system hungry for veteran instincts. Round the city, chatter spills from sports radio segments to barstools, where fans debate what such a move would mean. Some see it as a chance to reinforce a roster still carving out its identity. Others view it as a symbolic gesture, bringing back a trusted figure who knows the city's rhythm and can steady a defense that has weathered too many adjustments. While no announcement appears imminent, the momentum of the rumor has taken on a life of its own. The possibility of Slay stepping once again onto Philadelphia turf, wearing midnight green, has ignited a blend of hope and curiosity. For now, the story lives in murmurs and subtle hints, but one thing is clear: the city is listening, watching, and waiting as the Eagles quietly open the door to the idea of bringing Darius Slay back home. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.